Yo, what is up, YouTube? We have another deck build for you today. It's going to be the mid-range hunter. The reason it's a mid-range is because it doesn't have like the strongest opening, really, and it definitely has no ending. As you can see, the strongest card I have in here is a Savannah Highmane. So no King Crush, no serious endgame legendaries, nothing over 6. When there's nothing over 6, you know you don't have an endgame. So this is why it's a mid-range hunter. You really should be ending this. I mean, I'd love to end it earlier, but than an 8. But if you go longer than turn 8, that's when you're gonna start running into problems. But hopefully you don't go that long. Now let's just go over the deck really fast. You might have come over here from watching me play a game with the mid hunter. Hopefully you did. If not, you can check the description to maybe watch a game or two of how this deck works. Now, I'm going to explain it to you, what cards you need in it, and then I'll explain to you like kind of the choices I make, because when I'm playing, I don't really like say, oh, this is why I'm doing this, or at least I try not to, because I should be focusing on the game instead of, doing tutorials during the gameplay, because I'm super serious. I'm so serious and professional. Anyway, here we go. Now we got 2 Hunter's Marks and single Bestial Wrath. Now I'll explain that later, because a lot of people don't run the Bestial Wrath, but I'll tell you why I do. 1 Flare, double Tracking, double Stone Tusk Boar, double Timber Wolf, single Iron Beak Owl, double River Crocolisk, single Scavenging Hyena. I mean 2 Scavenging Hyenas, I'm sorry, rocking that gold Avi. Double Starving Buzzard, double Animal Companion, single Deadly Shot, double Kill Command, double Unleash the Hounds, double Houndmaster, single Leroy, Stampeding Kodo, and 2 Savannah Highmanes. Now you'll notice Stampeding Kodo here is, I believe, you can change it out to the Rhino. I believe there's like a 5-cost Rhino that some people are using in here. What is he? There he is, Tundra Rhino. So I see some people switch the Kodo and the Rhino. Kind of your preference. The Kodo can be clutch sometimes if you look at his battle cry, but Kodo's not like really the clutch card in this deck. What's really important in here is obviously your Starving Buzzard to get your draws. As you can see, whenever you summon a beast, draw a card. So it's a really nice combo play with obviously Unleash the Hounds. I mean, that's a no-brainer, but now that it's a 3, it's a little bit harder to get this combo off. So I like using it with the Stone Tusk Boar and the Timber Wolf. It's really nice. I mean, you get draw for draw essentially at that rate, like a turn 5 draw for draw if you don't have the Hounds and they don't have anything out. That's still a really nice play there, especially if you have a Hunter's Mark costing 0. You get a couple boars out, like 2 boars out on like turn 5. You know, you can go like Buzzard and double boar, throw a Hunter's Mark on there, and it's going to be GG for your opponent's minions. That being said, the big deal here is I switched out one of the flares. Now typically this deck runs double flare, but I noticed that like you're not seeing a lot of secrets right now. It seems like the only one carrying secrets is a hunter. Now the flare can be a pretty decent card. It's like an insta win against a hunter sometimes when you get rid of that secret. So the flare, I still keep it in there because of how powerful it can be if you shut down a hunter's secret, especially when they put multiple secrets down. It's so gnarly. Now what I put in the deck instead was a Bestial Wrath. I was having problems maintaining board control early on, so I threw a Bestial Wrath in there, and what I like to do is just get a low-cost minion out, whether or not it's a Stone Tusk Boar or River Crocolisk, and then I'll Bestial Wrath them and be able to clear the board, keep my minion out, and not worry too much, especially considering River Crocolisk is a 2/3. It can withstand a lot of stuff that gets dropped on turns 1 and 2. So it's really nice, especially if you can coin into the Crocolisk on turn 1. It's usually going to stick around unless someone goes turn 1 Flame Imp. That's the only thing that's ever scary. But if they do, you can always get rid of it with like a Stone Tusk Boar Timber Wolf combo early on, something, whatever you want to do to get rid of it, or just let it hit you. Whatever. A lot of times people don't want to risk their Flame Imp either. They'll just hit you directly to your hero because they just want to get the damage off. So yeah, you can kind of do what you want there. Or obviously Stone Tusk Boar, Bestial Wrath if you can. Now the key to playing this deck, I think, is always getting like a river. The cards you need to get an early River Crocolisk. This card to me is useless kind of later on unless it's potentially on a turn 6. It can be good in combination with the Houndmaster, but let's assume things are going perfectly. We want to have an early an early Crocolisk, even 2. I don't even mind playing Crocolisk like 2 turns in a row. Super awesome. Huge cards here. Crocolisk, like I said, Animal Companion, and then I think getting a hold of Houndmaster's always nice for that taunt, but I can't always find the best time to play it. So the main cards here are going to be obviously situational, but I feel like River Crocolisk is always a good play. And then moving into Animal Companion, and then from that point you'll be on like, you know, turn 4-ish, and that's when you can kind of start playing like the Buzzard or situational things like Ironbeak Owl to like silence something like a taunt, or that's when you really want to start playing the Starving Buzzard and looking for combinations with the Stone Tusk Boar and stuff like that. Now tracking, I only use when I desperately need a card. Like if it's turn 6, he's got board control, I have the Buzzard but I don't have Hounds, then I'll track and pray that Hounds is one of those next 3 cards. If you see the what the card does is it says look at the top 3 cards of your deck and draw one and discard the others. So I don't like to play tracking early on because I don't want to waste any early pulls. However, this is a clutch card come like turn 5 and 6. Tracking can be really helpful. So that's how tracking works. At the beginning I was like, I don't know how to use this, but that's a really great way to use tracking. And Scavenging Hyena, I've been kind of having issues with it. The best way it's been working for me is to just sacrifice like a Stone Tusk, like play it like a turn 3. If they have something out with 1 health, you can play like Stone Tusk and Hyena, buff it to like a, you know, a 4/3. As you can see, whenever its ability is whenever a friendly beast dies, gain +2/+1. So it's really useful with things like the Hounds or with the Stone Tusk Boar, or a lot of times you can pull out an early silence. You can draw a silence on this card, which can be nice if you don't want to get your Savannah Highmane silenced or something. It can help you out, or if you don't want to get your taunt silenced, your Houndmaster, if you see its battle cry, give a friendly beast +2/+2 and taunt. So you don't want to lose that taunt, so a silence can really ruin that. So that's a great way to draw out early taunts with a Scavenging Hyena, or to draw just attacks. Like, because people are always worried that you're going to buff that thing, so if you're like, oh, I don't want my hero to take any damage, I want to scare them, you can send out a Hyena. So anyway, that's kind of how the deck runs. You need to really focus, I guess, on when to get rid of a minion and when to go to the face, because you don't have a late game. Savannah Highmane is your highest card, and you don't have the best early game. This isn't really a control deck, it's not really a rush deck, it's just like play smart deck. I think, at least that's what I think. It's kind of play off your opponent. It's a big time play off your opponent deck. Not that all decks aren't like that, but I think you guys know what I mean. Some decks are straight to the face, some decks are hold the board until turn 9. This deck is not like that. And there was one last thing I was going to say. You got some nice combos, obviously Leroy Hounds here, and Savannah Highmane is great because the Death Rattle summon 2/2/2 Hyenas works so well with the Starving Buzzard. I feel like that's one of the most overlooked card draws. People will leave the Highmane out there, and then you can play Buzzard, then you kill your Highmane, you kill like their strong minion, right? Highmane is a 6/5, kill that minion, your Highmane dies, but then you get 2 draws if you dropped a Buzzard that turn. 2 draws for the cost of 2. You're instantly getting 2 more cards back, and then obviously you can play more on top of that because you're probably beyond turn 6 if you just dropped a Highmane. So on turn 7 you can just boom, bring your deck right back up, you know, to like, or bring your hand back up to like 5 or 6 cards off of a Highmane alone, grabbing you the first 2, and then, you know, Buzzard, and you have a bunch of beasts you can drop. So anyway, that is the mid-range Hunter. Hopefully I'll be hitting Legendary with it at some point in my life, or maybe through some revisions. Speaking of revisions, let me know what you guys think would make this deck a little bit better. Take a look at the cards. You guys can see them all right here. Let me know. Say, hey Justin, I think you should switch this out, or I run this, or this deck is weak against these things. The thing I think it's the weakest against right now, personally, from play, would simply be, what's that girl? The Mage. I think Mage, it's tough. It's tough to play against Mage with this deck because Ice Mage, any Ice Mage, like Frostbolt and stuff like that, so brutal against this. But Anyway, that's it, guys. Again, please check the description. Hit me up in the comments with your opinions of the deck and what you would do differently. I'm open to suggestions because boy oh boy do I want to get to legendary.
Hey again, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. As always, the music was provided by my band. Go to youtube.com/onickel to listen and download for free. If you'd like to get a hold of me, you can hit me up on Twitter @thejustinflynn or stop by the live stream sometime on twitch.tv/thejustinflynn. To learn more about my guests or to watch additional videos, you can check out the links in the description below. See you next time.
I know I got lost in rage, but is that what kept you